Every January, millions of us make a promise. We say, this is the year. We commit to the 5 a.m. workouts, the complete diet overhaul, the novel we're finally going to write. We start with 100% motivation. But statistically, by February, 80% of those resolutions are dead. Why does this happen? Is it because we're lazy? Is it because we lack willpower? No, it's because the strategy we are using is fundamentally broken. We're addicted to the grand gesture. We think massive results require massive action. But neuroscience and behavioral psychology have found a different path, a path that doesn't rely on willpower, a path that feels almost cheating. Today, we're going to unlock the science of micro-habits. We're going to look at why big changes fail, the math behind getting 1% better every day, and I'm going to give you a specific blueprint to reprogram your life, not in a year, but starting in the next 2 minutes. Let's talk about why we fail. In behavioral economics, there's a concept called the cold state decision problem. When you set a goal like, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, you are usually in a cold state. You're calm, you're inspired, and you're rational. But you have to execute that goal in a hot state when you're tired after work, the kids are screaming, and your willpower is at 0. This creates a mismatch. We set goals for our ideal self, but our real self has to do the work. We tend to have this all-or-nothing mentality. We look at an entrepreneur working 100-hour weeks or an athlete with iron discipline, and we think, I need to do that. But here's the problem. Willpower is a battery. It drains. If your plan relies on having a full battery 24/7, you're designing a plan for failure. This is called the exhaustion trap. Every time you resist a cookie or force yourself to run when you hate it, you pay a cognitive cost. Eventually, you go bankrupt. So, if the grand gesture is a trap, what's the alternative? Enter the framework of atomic habits. The idea is simple. A habit is the smallest unit of behavioral change. Just like atoms make up matter, habits make up you. Let's look at the math. If you get just 1% better at something every single day, by the end of 1 year, you aren't 365% better. Because of compound interest, you are roughly 37 times better. Conversely, if you get 1% worse every day, you decline down to nearly 0. Let's take a real example. Meet James. James wants to get fit, but he doesn't join a CrossFit gym. He decides to do 1 push-up a day. Sounds ridiculous, right? What's the point of 1 push-up? Month 1, it's negligible. Month 6, he's naturally doing 20 or 30 a day because he's already on the floor. 2 years later, James is running marathons. The microhabit didn't give him the muscles for the marathon directly. It built the neural pathway that made him an athlete. Or take Sarah. She wants to write a novel. She commits to writing 1 sentence a day, just 20 words. In 3 years, that's a publishable manuscript. We ignore small changes because, in the moment, they don't seem to matter. If you save $1 today, you aren't a millionaire. If you go to the gym for 3 days, you don't have abs. But time magnifies the margin between success and failure. Good habits make time your ally. Bad habits make time your enemy. To understand why this works, we have to look under the hood of your brain. We have the prefrontal cortex. This is the CEO. It handles complex thoughts and decisions. It requires a lot of energy. Then, deep inside, we have the basal ganglia. This is the autopilot. Every habit follows a 3-part loop: the cue, the trigger, the routine, the action, the reward, the dopamine hit. When you try to do a grand gesture like a massive diet change, you are using your prefrontal cortex. You are fighting against your own brain. But microhabits are so small, so low friction, that they slip past your brain's resistance. They move the behavior from the effort part of your brain to the autopilot part of your brain much faster. Here's the cool part. Your brain releases dopamine not just when you get a reward, but when you anticipate one. When you complete a microhabit, Even a tiny one, you get a small win. A check mark. That feeling of success rewires your brain to want to do it again. Okay, we know the theory. Now, how do we actually build this? You need a blueprint. We are going to focus on 3 specific tools: keystone habits, the 2-minute rule, and habit stacking. Not all habits are created equal. Some are keystone habits. These are small changes that cause a domino effect in your life. For example, making your bed might lead to a tidier room, which leads to a calmer mind, which leads to better work focus. Daily spending awareness, just looking at your bank account for 30 seconds, can naturally curb impulse buying without you feeling deprived. Pick one area: health, wealth, or relationships. What is the one tiny domino you can push? This is the most powerful tool in your arsenal. The 2-minute rule states, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Read before bed becomes read one page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. Study for class becomes open my notes. You might be thinking, but I can't get in shape taking out my yoga mat. The point is to master the art of showing up. A habit must be established before it can be improved. You can't optimize a habit that doesn't exist. Finally, we have habit stacking. Most people say, I'll exercise more. That's too vague. You want to anchor your new habit to an old one. The formula is, after I will. After I pour my morning coffee, I will drink 1 glass of water. After I sit at my desk, I will write 1 sentence in my journal. After I brush my teeth, I will do 2 squats. This removes the decision-making. The coffee triggers the water. You don't have to remember to be healthy. The environment does the work for you. Does this actually work in the real world? Or is it just self-help fluff? Let's look at 3 quick case studies from the report. First, there's Marcus. He was stuck in middle management, feeling invisible. He didn't have time for an MBA, so he used a micro-habit. After I pour my coffee, I will read 1 research article for 15 minutes. That's it. But over 12 months, that was hundreds of articles. He became the most knowledgeable person in the room. He started writing internal newsletters. Within 18 months, he was promoted to a massive strategy role. The micro-habit didn't get him the job, the knowledge compound interest did. Then there's Jennifer, 42, working full-time, chronic back pain, 60 pounds overweight. She felt incapable of exercise. Her micro-habit? A 5-minute walk during lunch. She didn't run. She didn't diet. Just 5 minutes. But that 5 minutes reduced her pain, which gave her energy, which led to 15 minutes. Then a yoga class. 18 months later, she completed a 5K and lost 35 pounds. She didn't need a boot camp. She needed a win. Finally, David and Sarah. Married 12 years, living like roommates. No intimacy, just logistics about the kids. Their micro-habit: 10 minutes of talk after the kids slept. No phones. No problem solving. Just talk. At first, it was awkward, but that tiny window of connection reopened intimacy. 6 months later, their marriage was transformed. It wasn't a grand romantic vacation that saved them. It was 10 minutes on a Tuesday night. I want to leave you with the most important concept in this entire report. The ultimate goal of microhabits isn't actually to run a marathon or get a promotion or write a book. The goal is to change your identity. Most of us try to change our outcomes. I want to lose weight. But true change happens when you change your beliefs about yourself. Imagine 2 people trying to quit smoking. Someone offers them a cigarette. Person A says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." Person B says, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." Do you hear the difference? Person B has shifted their identity. When you do a microhabit, when you do that 1 push-up, you are casting a vote for the type of person you want to be. You are saying, I am the type of person who doesn't miss a workout. I am the type of person who writes every day. You don't need to be perfect. In an election, you don't need 100% of the votes to win. You just need the majority. Microhabits are how you stack the votes in your favor. So here's my challenge to you. Don't wait for next year. Don't wait for Monday. I want you to pick one thing. Put on your running shoes. Write one sentence. Drink one glass of water. Meditate for 1 minute. Identify the smallest possible action. Apply the 2-minute rule. Stack it on top of something you already do. Forget the grand gesture. Forget the all or nothing. Embrace the boring, invisible, microscopic work. Because if you can change your days, you will change your life. If you found this helpful, I've actually put together a free PDF template of the habit stacking formula we talked about. Link is in the description. And I'm curious, what is the one micro habit you are going to start today? Not tomorrow, today. Let me know in the comments. I'll be responding to the first 100 or so. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.